It began, as these things often do, with a routine acquisition, an object flagged for appraisal. But from the first moment it was placed on the inspection table, we knew this was different. The light seemed to bend around it, absorbed by its unnaturally dark facets. Initial sensor readings were inconsistent, paradoxical. It was dense, yet registered as impossibly light. It was cold to the touch, yet emitted a faint rhythmic energy signature that did not correspond to any known thermal activity. In a world where everything is catalogued, everything is known, this object was an anomaly, a whisper in a silent room. Our protocols are designed for the known universe, for objects with history, with provenance. This had none. It simply was. The preliminary assessment was immediate and unequivocal. This find was worth millions. The system's valuation matrix struggled to quantify it. It cross-referenced every known commodity, every historical artifact, every rare mineral in the public and private registries. The numbers climbed, breaching thresholds reserved for planetary resource rights or corporate fleet assets. The final figure was not just high, it was disruptive. An amount that could destabilize markets, fund revolutions, or build entire cities. This wasn't just wealth, it was power, solidified into a physical form. The system, having exhausted all comparative models, assigned a conservative floor value in the high 8 figures. It was a number that demanded absolute certainty. We ran the valuation sequence 3 more times. Each result was identical. Verified value. Value is one thing. Substance is another. We subjected it to a full material analysis, spectrometry, isotopic decay measurement, quantum resonance imaging. The data that came back was a tapestry of contradictions. It contained elements that should not be able to bond, arranged in a crystalline structure that defied the laws of physics as we understand them. It was ancient, with isotopic dating placing its formation at a time before our star system had even coalesced. Yet its surface was pristine, showing no signs of entropy, no degradation from the passage of eons. It was a perfect object, an impossible artifact. The system could only conclude one thing. The material was authentic, but its origin was entirely unknown. Confirmed materials. This is where the process began to break down. With value and material confirmed, the next step is registry verification, a simple cross-reference to establish provenance, ownership, and legal status. We queried the Intersystem Asset Registry, the Corporate Holdings Database, the Antiquities Ledger, even the restricted military inventories. The object's unique quantum signature, as distinct as a fingerprint, was our search key. The system processed for 1.7 seconds. The result was a void, a null set. Nothing. No manufacturing logs, no mining claims, no salvage reports, no historical mentions. It was a ghost, an object with immense quantifiable value, yet without a single data point to explain its existence, but no record. An object without a record is a clerical error, an anomaly to be corrected. But an object of this value without a registration is a paradox. The system is built on a simple, unbreakable principle. Everything of value is owned. It is registered at its point of creation, transfer, or discovery. Ownership is the first and most fundamental attribute. It is the root of an object's legal existence. To find an asset of this magnitude with no associated registration is not just unusual. It is, according to the rules that govern our entire economic and legal framework, impossible. There was no bill of sale, no certificate of authenticity, no digital title, no registration. If an object is not registered, it might be lost or stolen. In such cases, there is always a claim. An insurance filing, a security bulletin, a report from a grieving heir or a furious corporation. We opened the file to all active claims across every jurisdiction. We searched for anything that matched its description, its value, its unique energy signature. The silence was absolute. No one was looking for it. No one had reported it missing. In the vast, interconnected web of commerce and law, this object, worth more than most people could imagine, did not belong to anyone. It had no history, no registration, and no owner. That doesn't happen. It is a statement of fact. A foundational principle. In our civilization, value is tracked with religious fervor. From a child's first savings credit to the largest corporate mergers, every asset leaves a data trail. It is the bedrock of our economy, our legal system, our society. An untraceable, unowned object of this value is a logical impossibility. It is a violation of the first rule of order. The system, designed to process, categorize, and file, had encountered a scenario for which it had no protocol. It flagged the file with a low-priority logical conflict warning. The machine did not understand, but we did. We understood that we were looking at a hole in the fabric of reality. The process is called the chain of custody. It is an unbroken line of data that stretches from an asset's origin to its present state. Every transaction, every transfer, every appraisal is a link in that chain. It is audited, encrypted, and immutable. This chain is not just a record, it is proof. Proof of legitimacy, of right, of ownership. It is what separates a legal asset from contraband. It is what allows for insurance, for inheritance, for collateral. It is the mechanism that transforms a physical object into a financial instrument. Everything valuable leaves a trail. This one didn't. Its chain of custody did not begin. It simply appeared at the acquisition step, fully formed, without a preceding link. There was no origin node, no point of creation, no prior owner from whom it was acquired. It was a chain with only one link, and that link was us. The system tried to reconcile this, running diagnostic after diagnostic. It searched for corrupted data, for a hidden or encrypted origin file. It found nothing. The trail didn't go cold. It never existed. The object was a statistical impossibility, a piece of data with no source. Protocol demanded we proceed. We opened a mandatory claim window. 90 days, broadcast across all public and private networks. A formal legal declaration that an asset of significant value had been recovered and was awaiting its rightful owner. The notices are intentionally vague, designed to be recognized only by someone who knew exactly what they were missing. We waited. The days turned into weeks. We received thousands of frivolous inquiries, all easily dismissed. But from the one party who could describe the object, who could provide the missing link, there was only silence. The 90 days passed. The window closed. No claim. This was the final dead end. The process had failed at every critical juncture. No record, no owner, no claim. The object existed in a state of perfect legal and administrative limbo. It was a question without an answer, a problem without a solution. Why would an object of such immense value be abandoned? Why would no one, in 90 days, step forward to claim what was theirs? Was it forgotten? Unlikely. Was it lost by an entity so powerful they considered this amount negligible, possible, but improbable? Was it left? Intentionally? A gift? A trap? A message? We had no data and therefore no explanation. An unresolved asset of this magnitude cannot simply be absorbed or ignored. It represents a systemic risk. Its existence challenges the very principles of order and ownership. It could be a new form of untraceable currency, a weapon, or something far stranger. Without a history, we could not predict its future. Without an owner, we could not assign responsibility. The only remaining option was containment, not just of the object, but of the entire process. We escalated the file to the highest authority, bypassing all standard channels. The directive came back in under a minute, clear and absolute. So we froze the process. The file was sealed, the object secured in a classified deep storage location. Its coordinates were redacted from the system, known only to a handful of individuals. All logs of its analysis were encrypted with quantum-level security and placed under a century-long seal. The object, and the paradox it represented, was removed from the world, because some finds aren't meant to be claimed. Some questions aren't meant to be answered. The value was never the problem. The problem was the absence, the silence, the perfect, deliberate void where a history should have been. This wasn't an oversight. It was a statement. And we are still trying to understand what it means. This isn't over.